Do you understand biology? Do you really? Do you understand that in an embryo, every single human is female to begin with? Well, that's interesting. Most mammals are, right? And you're like, oh, well, that's just the way it works. Like, you go from female transitioning to male, or you just stay female altogether. And like, there's no physical indication whatsoever on a male or female, okay? Specifically, not on a male. I'm speaking for trans women here. I can't speak for trans men, but I can speak for trans women. There's no way there's something indicating that they might be something a little different, right? There's no way there's anything on their body that is, when asked why therefore there, that was great grammar. People will be like, yeah, that's exactly the reason. I will leave loads of stuff in the description regarding why men have nipples. It's a female thing. And what's interesting is non-binaries and trans men, some of them want to get their nipples removed entirely. Some people have been born without nipples altogether. Why, and why? It's evolution, baby. Look, it is downright narcissistic to think we, as much as we don't play by the rules, we're not still in the game. Evolution is still a thing, okay? We have something called intelligence. Maybe we can feel it before it happens. How about that? How about there's something in the brain, aka the brain, which we don't fully understand, makes us and is developing in a way that is right, not wrong, biologically. And to say that you understand biology when that is ever changing, and you're like, it's not ever changing, it's just two genders, there's a man and a woman. Okay? There's no way that there was anyone ever born not that, you're just changing. There's no way that there were hermaphrodites born with both sexual organs and can have babies. Why do they exist? Oh, they're just a mutation? My fucking eyes are a mutation. But, oh, they're pretty. I mean, they're just your eye color, right? My eyes are a goddamn mutation. Okay? And that's the strangest thing about me. Heterochromia iridis. Chrominus. Oh, look at that. Where'd I get it from? It's all fucking crazy. Nature is crazy. A clownfish can physically go into a female as soon as there's no more aggressive female around. It's a fucking female dominant stomping ground. Okay, well that's different. That's different from us. We're mammals. Okay, yeah, you know. But again, people are born with proof of both sexual organs, and 50% of the entire planet have something called a evolutionary constrained result. You can look at Harvard for that if you want the information. Nipples. Why? You know, you hear, free the nipple. I'm fucking sick of it. You know, we don't want nipples. You know, non-binaries, we don't feel like we want nipples. Why is that? That would be more non-binary male. You don't want nipples. But they're there. Why? Personally, I feel like we're all just supposed to be, like, I get judged, even among trans community, for having a dick, okay? Okay? Why do I feel comfortable having it? It's a male organ. But I mean, if you look at a Neotrogla bug, that particular one, those two sexes switch, and I'm going into bugs right now, it's crazy, right? They switch their fucking dicks and their vaginas, okay? And then, well, what happens is nature, so the female bug just like fucking slams his little male pussy for like 6 days non-stop. And honestly, she doesn't care if he likes it, but you know, that's a different story. But regardless, nature's fucking wild. And like I said, it's downright narcissistic to think that we're not part of nature. Or you think this is all it? Think we're never gonna change? This is gonna be the period where people look back, like when I was a kid going through school, whatever, and you know, you look at racism. You're like, how fucking stupid were people? That's still around. But as a kid reading it, you think, at least I thought in my innocent mind, that it's fixed now. Nobody does that. That was just weird people in the past. Well, weird people are here now, and we're gonna be looking at 50 years in the future like, damn, people were so weird. And it's still gonna be there. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, when it boils right down to it, people don't have enough energy to care for a lot of it. Most people will. Most good people will. But the rest, they'll think they're right. They'll read one thing, maybe in a headline about something, and that's it. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say yes to them. Fuck, they're weird. Look, that's fucking weird. I mean, look, that person looks, I mean, I guess that person looks better than that one, but that one's really weird. That's no difference than looking at someone who's going through a transition in just general body weight distribution and building muscle or whatever. Like judging someone just for that. I mean, there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of things how people are born, and some people would think it is wrong. Like how someone with autism is seen as less intelligent among a lot of people. Like, oh my god, your kid has this, I'm so sorry. There's nothing wrong with that. It means they have a higher IQ, so everything's so fucking intense. They're smarter than all of us! And yet, they are seen that way. Open your mind a little bit, doesn't it? Like I said, people are too... They don't fucking care. They don't have enough energy to care. They'll read information, and unless they see a certain movie where it's all entertaining and it's just hidden in there subtly, then it might happen for them. Like regarding even just body weight, The Whale. I bet still loads of people just laughed at it. Laughed at a lot of it, made jokes about it. But then there was the people that really went, you know what? My jokes before were pretty shitty. You know what I mean? And the rest of us were like, fucking preach, Brendan. Fucking preach. Preach that shit. There's nothing wrong with being gay, and there's nothing wrong with a body weight. Look, we all struggle with our things. We all have our crutches. Why is it when someone has a crutch, we make fun of the crutch? See someone on crutches, see someone in a wheelchair, you think it's funny? Do you? So someone else who needs something, someone who needs glasses, someone who needs surgery, someone who needs these things for themselves, maybe just emotionally or just genuinely physically. But it all comes down to it. Right down to it. Why is it judged? People don't have enough fucking energy to care. So you build your groups. Do not execute in tribalism. Full-on tribalism. You can have your groups and you can feel included. But tribalism and just going against everything is wild. But there's still gonna be people out there that just think of it as like a joke. And like, if you go on YouTube right now, free page, nothing, you have no algorithm whatsoever, you're just brand new YouTube. There's so much anti-trans shit I see. So much. Piers Morgan, yada yada, Sky News, this bullshit. Like there was one that infuriated me the most. Piers Morgan one time, there was this, it's in a talk show with someone talking about like genders and yada yada yada, and he goes, well, I'm a black lesbian. Everyone's laughing and giggling. And the other person is stunned because they need to process it. And it's such a bad thing for someone to process information to have a response, apparently. So, of course, this douchebag overtalks. Yeah, what a big win. Now, these clips are going around on even TikTok and Instagram, like, oh, what a big win. And YouTube as well, YouTube Shorts. But here's the thing. All right, let me break it down. He said that. I'm a black lesbian. Everyone's giggled. He's a white British dude. So funny. Okay, here's the thing. Both black parents have a child. That child can still come out white. Interesting. So their skin pigmentation, all of it, everything a part of them though, is the DNA of their parents. What is it to be black? Is it just your skin tone? Oh, so the opinion, I suppose. I don't think so. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? What do you mean? That doesn't mean fuck that. What the fuck do you mean? There's a lot more to someone. And if someone's born by both black parents and they're white, And they also feel like a woman if they're born male. I don't know. Seems like you're pretty close to being a black lesbian. Know what I mean? So, as much as Piers Morgan make a joke, I feel like that is a realistic scenario. That is a realistic scenario. Very much so. And why I think that just your skin pigmentation doesn't make you black, just like it doesn't make us Caucasian, there's so many more physical traits. Like, if you're Asian, you got some of the strongest fucking hair in the world. And if you're black, I want to say the most athletic, muscle building badasses. And if you're white, you just get the free card, you know, pass free card for everything. Get that free yogurt card for life, I guess. But everyone has their own physical traits. Fair eyes, let's say Caucasian have fair eyes. How about that? We all have our own physical traits that make us white, black, Asian, ethnicity. You know what I mean? So when I see stuff like that, it melts my brain. It really, really melts my brain. And I've rambled into multiple different things, but the main thing I want to say is we are not the final result. Okay? I'm not a religious person, but I will not push anyone down that has it. Just don't push it on me. Because I know we're just living creatures in a floating orb, and there's other living creatures in a floating orb somewhere else, and eventually maybe they'll meet us. God damn it. I hope they don't have racism. Hope they don't have transphobia. Hope they don't have homophobia. They're gonna look at us and be like, what the shit? Like, even... This is what last thing I'm gonna say. Even in certain places in the world, depending on how the animals are treated, they are able to understand better. Like deers. I can't remember the place. I think it's in Japan. They'll bow to you. Japan or China, they'll bow to you. As a sign of respect, because it's peaceful. There's no hunting. There's none of that. There's an interspecies web. There is. But with intelligence, like us, comes the ability to not do that. Now, I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian. I would very much prefer lab-grown meat. So a skin cell from an animal and they don't get hurt, and it's still the same thing. Because, biologically, you need to accept these things taste good because as an animal you're supposed to consume them. But we're not animals anymore. As well. But you try and say that to somebody, as soon as anybody mentions it, their mind closes when it comes to stuff. And if you're someone who completely has watched this and disagreed with me, well, you probably haven't. But if you did, you need to open your mind. Completely open it like a soda can. Alright? There's a lot more to understand about this world. There's a lot of good people that are throwing hatred at, like me, for no reason. I want to help people. I would be able to help a lot more people that I want to, in terms of charity streams and stuff like that with more people, but I can only do what I can right now. If that means helping one person, 2 people, 3 people, 20 people, that's all I want to do. A little sparkle behind their eyes, a little bit, say, hey, you know what? Feeling this way is not wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to change these things about myself. Okay? I like my voice? Cool. The rest of my body? You know what? Too much dysphoria. There's one thing trans women can't change. Their voice. They can do things to it. And some people are really good voice actresses about it. But when it comes down to it, there will still be that little neg at the back of your head sometimes. Unless you be comfortable like I do. Because, I don't know, there was something that popped in my head a while ago. You cannot, like, as much, you can't identify a wolf by its growl. Male, female, it just seems ugly. You know, it's harder. It's harder. For us, it's very noticeable, right? Like, super noticeable. I guess it's just about balancing what feels good about you. Be an individual. The world is full of individuals. And it's about respecting. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. And some people are like, well, you're hurting our children. Like, there's some people that will say, they see someone like me and they'll go, don't mind that person's just a little sick in the head, okay? You see, that's the kind of shit that this person could also, let's say it's a small boy. Like how I was a small boy. If I seen someone like me, it would have been different. But there's a lot more factors than that, but I don't want to talk about that right now. But let's just put an analogy, a small boy. Little small boy, and he's looking up to someone like me. Something clicks. Like, whoa, these kind of people exist? I mean, I kind of like that. That makes kind of sense to me. There's not enough exposure for people like us. It's getting better. But the more exposure you see, the more hatred you see. Look at the Bud Light. Look what happened to that. There was people going around with steamrollers going over the beers. And they think, oh, it's class, we're so funny, we're drinking this beer, and everyone's laughing about it. It was on the front page of YouTube. Seen that? With the influencer's face on the can. Just steamroller. What the fuck does that show? Yeah. It would be, the first thought that came to my head when I saw that, imagine if social media was around in the 50s, with all the racism going around. That's the kind of shit you would see. But now it's like, oh, it's fine, because the majority think it's weird. Be trans. And a lot of people are like, oh, the world's not against you. Well, then why do 90% of, like, I'll say 90%, because everybody I know, all their families, I'd say 100%, anyone who's trans, all their family just fucking bolts. Maybe you get one or two, but the majority of the family just fucking doesn't give a shit. Alright? They'll see you as a person as they always were. I should have been this way since birth. I should have learned it as a kid. And I did at one point. But there was trauma. A lot of it. And that held me back. And constant trauma held it back until I became an independent woman. And then I realized, hey, time to actually be true to myself. And I got happier. I'm happy as can be. So whether you're someone that's just like me, or someone who agrees with someone just like me, or you're someone that doesn't agree with me at all, just remember, we don't have enough energy to care either. Sometimes. So we just focus on everything else. I'll defend who I am. But it's a lot harder to defend something that deep down you know is wrong. Some people are just full of hatred, so it works easy for them, but deep down it's, you know what's wrong. There's no difference in racism back in the 50s. No difference at all. The widespread hatred, you know what I mean? Even an advertisement can lose so much money for a company just to have someone like me in it. Isn't that wild? I think so anyway. Well, that's pretty much all my spiel. I ramble a lot when it comes to this stuff. Do you like my flow of consciousness? Do you not? Let me know. Regardless, it's just who I am, baby. So if you like it, leave a like, maybe subscribe. And my advice to you, future person, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So do some smiling, baby. I'm gonna see you next time.
I believe in the future. I believe in the past. I believe what you truly desire, you can bring to pass. All you need is a focus and a story to hold, and the faith that you can achieve what's inside your soul.